heard so much about the legacy that His Majesty King Goodwill Zwelithini leaves behind, a man of unity, a man of stature, a leader, wamasiko as well, but also of faith, as we can see today, very successfully having managed to marry the two and live his life then accordingly. We had the Eucharistic service there conducted by Archbishop Thabo Makgoba, who did mention that he is here today as the Bishop of Zulu land. Let's go live now to our reporters on the ground, Mbali, Thethani, as well as Bonga, Dlulane. A very good afternoon to both of you. Let me start with you, Mbali. What an emotive service, but so rich in culture, so rich in word, and so rich in legacy. What is it like on the ground as far as those who are physically attending this memorial service? So many of us are on the other side of our television screens, but you, who is on the ground, what is going on right there, Thandayo?
Well, Tommy, we have been stationed outside the Thandayo Palace for most of the proceedings, as we are not allowed inside that main marquee. And I must say, the scenes coming out from the gate of Thandayo is, of course, of song and jubilation. We've had the Amatiti singing throughout and celebrating the life of King Zwelithini. At the same time, Tommy, on various occasions, we've seen the likes of Amabuto marching down the street here at the Thandayo Palace, basically paying tribute and honoring King Zwelithini. But I must say that as much as many people here are sad, but what they have done is that they are now celebrating the life of King Zwelithini.
Thank you very much, Mbali. Let's touch base with you, Bonga, Dlulane. You were stationed at the taxi rank where so many gathered to witness today's goings-on. What has the sentiment been on the ground? Mbali is saying that there's a sense of jubilation outside Thandayo. Is it the same at the taxi rank?
Yes, good afternoon, Tommy. Exactly that. I was here since the morning, and people have been dressed up. You know, even though they're not going to the palace, the fact that they've been put up screens for them is something that they appreciate very much. I'm going to show you now exactly. This is what you're seeing, where people are watching the scenes of what is going on here at the rank, basically coming out in their names to pay tribute to the king. I'm going to talk to one of them here. She seems eager to me. Sisimolo Mbali Kamala.
Mbali njanga KwaNongoma uMagaskayi.
Simali kanixelele namhlanje ixaliwe isilo ulapha nxiba imaski yakho nxiba uthethe emva koko.
Ngize ngithole ukujabula kakhulu. Ngizizwe ngibona kahle yonke into. Ngizizwe ngathi bengikhona emzini wesilo. Khona ngilapha phakathi KwaNongoma edrobheni. Yonke into bayihlele kahle. Sifisa nje ukuthi singabantu baNongoma siqhubeke sihloniphe. Njengoba ubaba Bayede ebenxusa kakhulu inhlonipho kakhulukazi thina intsha namhlanje sihlonipha abazali bethu abadla idakamizwa banciphisa idakamizwa. UBayede uyibekile induku yakho bandla ukwenzi ukhulumile konke ukufundisile konke singabantwana abancane siyintsha KwaNongoma. Thina okwethu kumele sihambe ezinyathelweni zakhe njengoba ebefisa sithi siyintsha. Bayede uphumule.
I'm going to walk again across because I want to show you just opposite me also the situation is still like this. A lot of people are gathered because for them this is the only way they could say goodbye to their king. If they could not go to Thandayo Royal Palace, they decided to come here. Another lady who seems from Spa, she just walked out from Kwaspa, says, ndiyakubona uphume emsebenzini waza apha kutheni unyanzelekile bufuna uzothini xa usithi isilo sesitshaliwe namhlanje kodwa ndibekele ezithi banibukele nani.
Ngithi Bayede hlanga lomhlabathi hlanga lezwe
sizizwa silimele kakhulu singaba KwaNongoma, siyisizwe sonke silimele ngokuhamba kwesilo, kodwa sinethemba lokuthi ozoba khona futhi naye uzosiphatha kahle njengesilo. Ngiyamkhulekisa kwayena ukuthi uNkulunkulu amuphe ukuhlakanipha okukhulu okufana lokhu kade kunikeze isilo, sikwazile ukuhola isizwe ngobuqotho nangokwethembeka nangothando njengomzali.
So Mbali, I'm just going to translate for you there, Tammy, a little bit, saying that they are so proud that they could come here today to lay some sort of way, pay tribute to their king. They are so proud that the fact that even though they're not able to go to the palace, they could still watch as dignitaries go there, because he's not only just a king for president, he's also king for ordinary South Africans. And these are the ordinary South Africans who are his subjects. So they're also saying that the fact that the Silo has done so much for them is something for them, even though it's painful that he has passed on, but it's also something they appreciate, that they could be able to come out today and bid him farewell. Back to you, Tammy.
Before we move on to Mbali, just if you could paint a picture for us, Bonga, as to what the infrastructure is like at the taxi rank. Where have the community been watching the ceremony this afternoon?
Well, as you say now, Natami, we are at a taxi rank, which is a double story. First time I've ever seen one here at KwaNongoma, but the infrastructure is basically like, it's the central business district of this part, as I can say, because everything is here. The banks are here, the supermarkets are here, so basically this area we're at is most busiest. And if you want to know everything about a town, you go to the taxi rank, because that's where people come with and that's where people leave. But also the kind of infrastructure set up in municipality is that, so that people don't gather large numbers. There's 3 areas. So we are the main one, Tina, and then opposite and then somewhere place called the Plaza, where you have some sort of mall. There's also another screening. So the municipality trying as much as they can to ensure that social distancing is observed, masks are worn, and that not lots of people are gathering in one place. So that's why there are 3 areas in a time. So we are at the main one now, but we'll be moving around just to show you exactly as things go by, because it seems people still do want to speak about their isilo sabo. Basho futhi ba ndlela lebe bemthanda ngayo, ndlela inhliziyo zabo zophuke ngayo since emkile ziyaba ibahlila kabi, but also saying that they hope whoever takes over, Tammy, is someone who will maintain the legacy, someone who will unite the people still, because Isilo has done that not only for his people, but he has done this for South Africa as well. So, Tammy, back to you.
He certainly has laid a very strong foundation. Even the youth are proclaiming that. You know, he has taught them so much about keeping themselves and how to live. Mbali, where you are at, just outside KwaNongoma, we did see some cars leaving in our first crossing. Give us an idea of who that was.
That's right, Tammy. Just moments ago, we saw President Cyril Ramaphosa just leaving here, the KwaNongoma Palace. And I must say that, of course, he did deliver that eulogy. He was paying tribute to King Zwelithini. At the same time, Tammy, we see that there are very large crowds which are gathered here outside the KwaNongoma Palace. And this is something that officials had warned of, saying that people should not gather in their numbers, as we do find ourselves in the times of COVID-19. But at the same time, Tammy, they did try and accommodate those who they knew would be making their way here so that they could come and comfort the family. So what they've done is that they have also erected a number of marquees just around here in this specific area in the field, where in each marquee at least 100 people were sitting inside, and there was a television screen so that those who are outside could also keep abreast to what has been said about King Zwelithini. We've seen beautiful tributes coming out. One in particular that shines for me is, of course, the one that was also done by Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. And Tammy, you'd know that the issue of land has been a rather contentious issue, especially when you speak about the legacy of the king, linking him to the Ingonyama Trust. And that is particularly what Buthelezi spoke of in his tribute to the king.
Mbali Thethani, our reporter out KwaNongoma, outside KwaNongoma Palace. Also, our reporter Bonga Dlulane. He is also KwaNongoma, but he is at the city center where various viewing areas, if one can call them that, are very reminiscent, I should say, of the 2010 World Cup, where various viewing areas were put in place for members of the community to come and view what was taking place at the main stadiums. Bonga, you were talking to some of those who had gathered today, and also quite heartwarming to see that some of them had actually dressed for the occasion as if they were physically going to be going to the memorial service themselves. We'll continue touching base with our various reporters who are on the ground. Bonga Dlulane will re-establish the connection with him, as well as Mbali Thethani. We also have Ziyanda Ngobo, who is at the palace, and Karinda Jagmohan at the memorial service, which took place from around 10 a.m. this morning. The opening prayer was conducted by the Chaplain General Monwabisi Jamangile. The welcome address by Inkosi Umangosuthu Buthelezi, who is also the Prime Minister of the Zulu Kingdom. And what an honor to be able to have a ceremony of this magnitude conducted by Inkosi Umangosuthu Buthelezi himself. As we know, he has had a very long-standing relationship with the royal family, he himself having been one to counsel and one to serve within the family itself as its Prime Minister. He also was the one individual who kept South Africa abreast as to the King's health when he was admitted into hospital with diabetes complications. It was Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi who alerted the nation to that, and also periodically let us know how he was progressing. So too, today he made the welcoming address at the farewell ceremony for His Majesty King Goodwill Zwelithini. The tribute was also made on behalf of Amakhosi by Inkosi PhD Kaliza, as well as a musical item there. And a tribute by a sibling was made and done by Princess Thembi Ndlovu, who spoke about the importance of unity, who spoke about the fact that just because the king is no longer there, that unity definitely needs to remain within the royal family.